Welcome, everybody. Mary Bridget O'Donoghue here. Episode 9 of The Womb Room, and I am so beyond excited and honored also to welcome in this beautiful vibrational proclamation, this beautiful moment. Um, this lady, we work together. We call it healing, but it's always something else. It's always an expansion and an ancient remembrance of when we come together. We have come together in this moment, and we are here to speak upon the grace of the mother, the grace of the daughter, and the grandmother, the whole trinity of grace, and what that is doing through us as women, those of us who have surrendered to the choice of love at all times. In that singularity, what is happening is that the fullness, every tool of love, every tool of grace, every solution of love, every solution of grace is coming through us, to us, between us, for us. Okay. The Rose of Damascus, beautiful Roua Murtada. You're so welcome to be with me here.
Thank you so much, Mary, for inviting me and just so gently, gracefully ushering me out of my comfort zone. It's always magical and beautiful to share space with you. Thank you.
This is the thing now for the roses, for the voices of the rose. And that is a complete voice. That is, like I say, grandmother, mother, and daughter. It includes the wisdom of the grandmother. It includes the devotional love of the mother, and the joy and the laughter of the daughter. And we are doing this, Rua. We are all doing this, and we are
Behold, everybody, get ready.
we're coming out from our hiding places because at the eternal daughter's insistence, because the eternal daughter, a lot is coming through for this. So before we proceed, I just want to invite a rose for every single person's heart on earth, all of humanity, to receive a rose upon the heart, so that they can feel the truth, the vibration of what we're saying, and allow it to be received within. We are changing the heart of all things. We are returning the heart of the mother to earth. And this is a heart that has been outside of time, that has been, like Roua said, in our individual places of hiding and pockets of heaven, essentially, Roua. We have been in pockets of heaven as individual women, and now we are converging, and we are bringing heaven to earth through the grounding of all that we are here, in the insistence that there will be one heart upon earth. The mother's heart covers all that there is, all of humanity now. And everyone is finding and returning and remembering their state of innocence, their holy state of innocence within Mother's heart. So this is an active healing tool of grace. This rose quartz heart it's a dodecahedron, a 12-sided heart that is covering humanity now. It is the heart. It is the geometry of grace. And I will just, Roua and I will just speak so freely because we know that we are being put here together to speak the words of the mother. So let this be felt. We are speaking ancient words of grace because that is all that we have. We have chosen in our devotion to be voices of grace and love. This rose quartz heart is the heart that diffuses all sides until we return to the one living heart. The vortex of this heart, the center of this heart, is weaving all into one. This vortex, you could say, is like a birth canal. So it may feel like pressure and intensity, or it may feel like absolute joy. Whichever direction you're going depends. If you are birthing downwards, this may feel like pressure. If you are birthing upwards, this will feel like expanse. But either way, whichever way you go, up or down, you will be returned to grace. You will be returned to the one breath, because there is only one breath in the womb of the Immaculate Mother. There is no damnation within the living breath. There is no place of heaven or hell anymore. We have collapsed both. With this beautiful presence of this golden father tree within the womb, and that vortex heart of the mother within the tree, that spiraling vortex birth canal heart, and with this beautiful containment of this rose quartz, we are contained within the one breath. There is no damnation within the womb. There is no salvation within the womb. There is innocence and there is breath. There is life and there is breath. Excuse me. Let me just mute myself for 2 seconds. My voice is not my own today, Roua.
I need to come back here.
Okay,
Oh,
Roua, my love. I want you to speak anything you wish. If you want to pinpoint, I want the words of that you have used, a voice of ancient remembering, a voice of deepest remembering. If you speak as you wish, and if you I can lead if you need it.
don't know where to start, but really it's finding this magic that lies in the human voice. We all have that healing power in our voice, and the words we speak, we bring each other home. I'm experiencing so much magic through the voice, and I think it's helping me see on this journey what's actually happening for me, at least, and others are reflecting, because I can't put it into words. It's just
Mhm.
feelings. So from what you're saying, I feel that I've just been saying it in my head for the last 2 days, we're home, we're home. It just feels like we have landed. But I don't know how to put it into words, or,
Mhm.
yeah, how to articulate it. But really, the human voice, I mean, the sound, everyone knows that there's a power to the sound. But the human voice has got so much mystery, that it takes you where you need to go to see exactly what you need to see, and to receive what you need to receive when you need to receive it.
Mm.
I'm blessed with this beautiful sound healing course that I've decided to start in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably the first thing I've done in my whole life, maybe, but in a really, really long time, something that really ignites me and something that I feel so excited about. haven't felt like that in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to mention my beautiful teacher, Simone Niles. She's a beautiful, beautiful lady who holds a great space for things to unfold and for the magic to kind of begin, for you to explore what this
Mhm.
is, what this beautiful tool is.
Yeah.
And we have, we practice on each other and, with the group. And they are a group of beautiful ladies. And in one of the healings, in so many of them, it just takes you're transported to, somewhere else, or maybe, I know it's all here, but you're transported to a space where really a lot of magic happens.
Yeah.
And in one of the healings I've had, Mother Mary was present so strongly.
Mm.
This beautiful lady who did the healing initially said that the minute she saw me, she saw Virgin Mary, and I don't know why. Like she saw Mother Mary. To me, it's mind-boggling. But I always had this connection with Mother Mary, and I think I named my daughter, as we're talking about the daughters, I named my daughter Mariam.
Beautiful.
You know, which is the Arabic version of Mary. So, yeah, and in this healing, Mother Mary was present strongly. And
Yeah.
at some point, after receiving the sound in silence, that's the space where a lot of magic happens. So it's the stillness that follows the sound. And in that, she came through, Mother Mary came through, and I just could feel this gold stream of code. That's how it felt. To me, I don't know what it was. I assume it's unfolding, and I know it's unfolding. And it was just so magical and so deep. And yeah, there were so many messages that maybe my mind doesn't want to accept sometimes. And I'm like, oh, but yeah, we know, I know it's true. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much magic that comes through the voice.
That is incredible. I want to, not incredible, it's very credible because it's perfect. I want to speak on that, what you said, that Mother Mary coming to you and infusing you with that, as you said, that golden coating. And this moment that we're going through, we are, like you said, we are home. The voice of grace is here. The presence of grace is here as the full toolbox for what's next. And all the individual roses, all the women of devotion, um, pockets of heaven, like I said, are converging. And the way you spoke, that our song to each other, our words to each other, are bringing us all back to each other, to this togetherness.
I really want to say about this because
Mm.
every being that's sharing at the moment is doing a great you know part of this awakening, of this homecoming thing. And I want to say that because I don't necessarily, what can I say? It's not clear in my mind always what's happening. So when someone shares, it just hits home. It just, holds your hand. It hugs you. I just expressing deep gratitude to every being, every woman who's sharing, who's, leading in this experience. I really, really appreciate it because it just makes it feel, and of course it is real, but it makes it for me, when you are in hermit mode and you're just sitting alone all the time, and I've kind of isolated myself from everything and everyone. So this has been, this is, I guess, the positive thing that we have, the internet. That's a positive side of it. Is this sharing all this code that just keeps coming through, and it just awakens something in us through our voice. So it's
Mm.
beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's like our voice as women is of the womb. It's the birthing voice of creation. It is connected, of course, it is a conduit for source source sound, the source intention of the mother, of the great mother, and there is a symphony already. I just have a little resistance as I'm speaking. I'm clearing myself out of any resistance. So this is beautiful because it means what's coming through is really opening the pipes, because my voice was taken, as many were, and this is something that came as the presence of the daughter is the voice that sings, like this the little bird that sings in the morning. Um, and I was shown these past few days have been quite real for me. Being shown how the voice is taken when innocence is taken, the singing voice is taken, and sometimes the speaking voice. Um, when I heard you singing, Rua, the first time, I could feel this rising voice. It was like it was singing something back to life. And what we have as a body of woman, um, because the womb is a sound holding. The immaculate womb is crystalline song lines, and the crystalline song lines of the mothers in pure intention travel through the womb of mother, daughter, mother, grandmother, mother, and daughter. So this is our conduit. Our conduit is our voice, like you speak. And the presence we are feeling now, and I spoke that this was an angelic presence, and it is, but what I've been told is that the purpose of all these angelic presences, like Mother Mary infusing you, like the eternal daughters coming in our group and dancing and showing us the way, it is that we assimilate into our body in this embodied place now, all of that, because they are parts of us that got terrorized and put into the safety pockets, right? Into the pockets of heaven, and that's what disassociation is. It's sending yourself to a pocket of heaven to be safe. And what I'm saying now is that everyone is safe to come back here. There is one heart, one rose, and it is reeling in all the pieces of mother, daughter, grandmother. And in this, not only do we receive our own heart, our own voice, our own conduit, we are restoring the heart of humanity, of all things. So to the rose, with the full stealth of grace, wisdom, song, joy, devotion, passion, all of the power of woman is doing this.
Yeah, what a journey. As I'm going through it as you speak, because
Yeah.
this, I can never articulate it like you do, but it is, you know, forgetting that part of yourself, as you said, um, taking that part of yourself and hiding it away. I think that spiral was bringing, myself back to this remembrance, remembering who, not in the conscious mind, but, in our bodies, like you said. And it's been a difficult journey, but I think I have a, the feeling is that it was necessary to be able to bring it back, like you said, for everyone, is to actually go through it, losing it or hiding it, and then bringing it back. And that daughter, like you said, in our healing, that we had the jewel of the family's crown, that really was crazy for me, because I was releasing all that as we were going through it. It was amazing, but it just felt like a restoration of that. Yeah, bringing that back and realizing that it was actually true. You shouldn't have, not you shouldn't have, like I said, it was probably necessary, but yeah, it was just a little game, a make believe that that's not true. But now we're back, here, and this I can only think of this beautiful doorway that we've created there, and I just see all the colors and the girls playing in their dresses and dancing, and
Oh, so
I love that.
so beautiful. The the daughter is the daughter is being remembered. The eternal daughter is remembering into consciousness now. Like you said, the jewel of the family crown, the flower of the family tree, and what that means. And that flowers sing, as we know, flowers send off a vibration, and that is here. And that is being received by everyone, because we are all so sensitive, and we are all just a forest of trees in the end and in the beginning. So everyone is receiving that. And the daughter's song is the insistence upon freedom. The insistence, and I always see these daughters with their dresses and bare feet. And it was like when I was a little girl, I always had dirty hands, scraped knees, bare feet, and dresses, princess dresses and ribbons and everything. And like that is the epitome of girl. It's like I will be fabulous and I will be free, and there's nothing I won't do. And that presence, I feel it rising, and it is so beautiful. And to me, I see these daughters holding our right hand and leading us back to find the innocence, because everything we would not look at, everything that has been done against the daughter in the name of religion, in the name of um, inheritance, in the name of lineage, in the name of whatever, the different frameworks and structures that were placed upon the mother body, which compelled the fracture of that holy trinity of grandmother, mother, and daughter. Like I said, the grandmother is the wisdom, she is our bones, the song of our bones. The mother is the portal of devotion and passion and protection for all, the converging point. The daughter is the promise of freedom and innocence. She's a flower. And we are being forced to create the conditions for the daughter, the eternal daughter now on earth. And when I hear, we are leaving the paradigm of free will. Every timeline of free will was based upon, like I said, that fracture of that trinity of woman, that holy trinity. And so when I hear people cribbing about what they're losing, or saying they feel judged or whatever, I really don't care, because all I can see is those grubby little daughters in their princess dresses running free like wild horses, and that's who is leading me. That's I have to be good enough for those daughters.
Yes, yes, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, and that's, I mean, the power of our dream coming back. I think that's just beautiful. I heard that in somewhere and it just resonated. Our collective dream is, we need to remember that, it's a safe space for us to be. It's a lush and abundant place, clean waters, just abundance for everyone, and love and joy and fun. And for me, I like to add maybe, community. People like cooking for each other and sharing.
Yeah.
And I love what you said for our daughters to run, their feet everywhere, and for that to be safe for them. And it's just beautiful, just bringing that back. And now I sometimes I sit with my daughters and I say, okay, well, what do you dream of? And tell me. And these days the technology and all the distractions are here. So I try to just, even for a moment, sometimes just like talk to them, and what do you dream of? And I just, and they say stuff that's just beautiful. I say, yes, yes, keep dreaming. Put energy to it, feel it. They think I'm crazy, but I love it. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, it's because it's their visions that will create that are creating that heaven on earth. And the daughter's voice is definitely something that has been silenced, but all prayers are answered. We know this. All prayers are answered. Silent prayers. Tears are worth a million words. And you know there is no deaf ear of the mother, and of the father. The all prayers are answered, and that's what's coming now. This time of prophecy feels like the time when all prayers are being answered.
yeah, it really does feel like that.
Yeah.
And it just makes you think, like when that, I feel that, I'm like, okay, be aware of what you're kind of dreaming, it's actually happening. It really is. So I'm aware
I
of
know.
that. And also I wanted to say about the daughters that,
Mm.
this, aren't they a force, of change themselves?
Yeah.
They're amazing. There is no silencing this generation, is there? I mean,
Yes.
I have, my daughter is 11, and
Mhm.
you know, conditioning this child is impossible. So I'm glad she's kind of undoing my patterns. She helps me to, and helps her
Yeah.
dad to just,
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
step back and think, oh my goodness, how can I raise this child? And like, she's raising us. It's the other way
Yes.
around. So it's amazing. It's amazing. The
Mm.
force that they have is just beautiful. It,
Yeah.
there's no killing.
Yes. No, there's no, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's just the joy of freedom and the insistence upon it. And we have, every generation, reclaims more, and I've no doubt they will just get it all back.
Yes, yes, well.
you know. This is also beautiful. I wanted to speak about, and I don't think I said this when you spoke about that infusion of the mother. What I was told is that, we are returning, we are being remade in the image of the mother. Like that fullness is returning. And I know we kind of spoke that, but it can't really be said enough because that is astounding. Like I said, every timeline has always been based upon a version of woman, a version like a piece of woman, a fracture of woman, an absence of the heart of intention. And this, like the song, the sound, the symphony, the intention comes from women. The intention of creation comes from the mother. And our sound was drowned out. Our voices were silenced. And that was one of the byproducts of, or the reasons for, the terrorization of the womb, was to shut down our voices, because they're connected, because our voices are the voices of evolution, because we are insatiable. We're always calling for what's missing, and we will not let a stone be unturned until everything is as it should be, because we need. So obviously, if you're just in your house, that can feel a bit annoying,
Oh yeah.
you know. But if you have your sights set on the endless horizon, it's beautiful. So we just need to set our sights very broad, right? And understand that that is our range. Our range is everything, the
Yeah.
infinite. Our range is to have the intention of the infinite.
Yeah, it just feels like it is available to reclaim. You know, what you've said, we're made in the image of the Divine Mother. So this is available for every woman to claim back and
Yes.
for her to release everything that's in the way. Just burn it away. You know, we're embodiment of pure love, and that flame burns everything that is not in alignment. So
Mm.
it is for us to accept that, allow it,
Yeah.
and just let that work on its own. It knows what to do, it will just do it, but just surrendering to that. And then everything to do with the patterns, the low self-worth, it will just burn away. And it's a process that I'm still going through, and there's a lot of smoke. But it's happening, so it's just allowing that
Yeah.
to be reclaimed, and actually seeing yourself as that, and
Mm.
saying it out loud. Also, the power of our voice is massive. I've tried it many times, and when you say it out loud to yourself, let your body hear it. You know, let that be in the field, and it will just do the magic. It's amazing. Command it, and it will happen. It's a process, but
Mm.
then the minute you say the word, it's like that's the command, and then it starts.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. The language of claim and command. You know, this is the language of prayer, intentional living prayer. And this is, um, in my knowing, it has always been the mother that pray and the grandmothers that pray for her families. And I have seen the covering, the crystalline covering of protection that affords people. And now this is the whole world. Like I said, we have bigger horizons, and we are doing this without exception, without discrimination, for the whole world.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the daughters want freedom. So,
And I think when each one of us does it for her own family, her own being, the ripples are amazing. So just just me being from Syria, Damascus, holding that experience and knowing the ins and outs of all of it, and then transmuting all that within me and within my field and for my daughters and hopefully their daughters and everyone. It's just amazing ripples. I know that, but how that's going to manifest, that's for us to see, how that magic
yeah,
will actually manifest. But that's how it works, I think. So it's just do you, and that's more than enough. That's more than enough. It's beautiful how it's set up, and it just makes me want to dance a little bit. I don't know. At the moment, there's a lot of
it's all in the hips.
dancing and
So much can be done by just swirling your hips.
yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, just close my eyes and
Yeah.
do the dance. Yeah, yeah. There's so
Yeah, I agree. That is the way it works. And now that you know, we are basically filling up the subconscious, filling up the void with our intentions. And it does look like all these roses flowering. So as you speak of, you as yourself, who you are, the fullness of who you are. And I want to speak of that rose of Damascus. Like you said, you're from Syria. And one thing I notice about Syria, because I'm always shown exactly what I need to be shown, the beautiful like architecture within Syria, like so incredibly divine. The geometry, palpably divine. And when you told me about the Damascus rose, and it dawned on me, which of course you know this in your body. I'm presuming the center of that geometry, of that architecture, is the rose, you know?
Yeah, and it is quite evident in the architecture there.
Mm.
You see it in mosques, in furniture, like handmade furniture, all the mosaic and the yeah, all the hand carved uh, things that are handmade
Mm.
in old like Damascene houses. You see these patterns everywhere in the buildings, but of course I wasn't, it's not something that I was consciously aware, but now that you're putting all these pieces together, it does make perfect sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's fully.
yeah,
The rose is there. It's so beautiful. I mean, after I left Syria, which is like 25 years ago now, I never smelt that same scent that was there. Is so deep that it just is so amazing. It like refills your whole body.
mm,
And the only time I was able to visit that again was this year in California. We were there, and in Southern California, they have the same kind of climate, the same kind of plants and trees and different things. And there was this rose, which I couldn't get over the smell. Every day I would just go and stand there and just take it all in. It just refills your whole body. It's just like, oh, you feel it everywhere, and it's just so magical. So I loved roses from a very young age. And the yellow, you showed a yellow rose the other day, and I was like, this is the one I was planting on the windowsill and putting all these messages in the soil.
Oh, yes.
Yellow. But initially, I wanted a red roses, like a plant
Yeah.
for me to like look after. And then
Mm.
my dad went to this I don't know what they call it in English, I can't remember. But it's a place where they sell you all these seeds and plants and all that. And he got me this beautiful plant, but it was yellow. So initially I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted the red, but nevertheless, it was my favorite. We didn't have a balcony, but we had a window, and just outside the window there was, the air conditioning piece that they put outside
Yeah.
the building, and it was there. So I put it on top of the air conditioning unit. I would just like write little messages and I would consider the roses my babies and just put in the messages in the soil inside and just bury them in water and all that, so they know that I love them.
Wow. You as that was you as a girl. You knew the vibrational power and presence of roses, and that rose being a symbol of your heart, as a woman.
It's beautiful to remember that. Thank you for that, because it was you bringing all that back
Mm.
and helping me to remember, and it was magical.
It all makes sense. Everything we do makes sense. It all adds up, and especially those things that are so dreamy and
Yeah,
nonsensical. They make the most sense now.
that is real life. Come on, guys. It's like I want to say, come on, everybody, wake up.
All of our banality, all these amazing little things happen. Like I just have this. I found this on the ground beside my grandmother's castle. Now that should not have been there. I brought it to a guy who knows rocks, and he looked at me like I'd come from outer space with this rock.
Very unusual.
You know, you go, you pick up the rock, and then you go home and you make dinner, and you carry.
Of course.
But it's only like it is actually those nonsensical breadcrumbs that we have kept. So many of us have little bundles of objects or bundles of memories, and now it's all making sense. Now, because they are pieces of like chords in the symphony, notes in the symphony, and now we're getting to see the fullness. And those the objects mean something. I'm finding very much within the prophecy timeline, objects mean something. I receive messages, and I maybe the reason you had a yellow rose because if you think of the golden rose, you think of the mother, what she has done now. She's infused you with golden coding. So you asked for this. You sent out the call of the golden rose, and you got the return with the mother giving you that golden coding. So that's why your father was impulsed by the golden rose instead of the red rose. So it all makes sense.
So beautiful.
And that's why you can't be disappointed with anything. It has to be, um, like there's just the subtlety of real life, and the delight that we are in receipt of now, because the symphony, the weave of grace is rewoven, and it's strengthening and fortifying. The level of delight and synchronicity that we are experiencing now is just like a fairy tale.
It really-
Exactly what we always wanted, you
Yeah,
know?
yes, it's so
Yeah.
soft. It's so soft.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's, so forceful or too clear. It's just so subtle that when you notice it, you're like, just the tears start, flowing. It's been very teary few days for me, just
Oh my gosh,
feeling
yeah.
it and just
Yeah.
feeling like the grace is probably the best word that you use that I can,
Yeah.
that's how it feels. It just feels like love,
Yeah.
love and grace. It's just,
Yeah.
you
It's
just,
like I was if you ever go to a circus and you see, the trapeze artists, and they have the net underneath them in case they fall. And we always went to the circus. My dad loved taking us to the circus. Um, but I remember a few years ago, I was, because in this lifetime, we are getting it right. There's not going to be any savior that comes in with a more forceful force than that's here, if you know what I mean. Like with any kind of force that creates more consequence, like a harmful consequence, it's not happening. But I've had many lifetimes as a warrior, so I was very frustrated. Frustrated looking told all these rules, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay,
doing this right, you're out of here.
behave yourself. Oh my God, it's like all you have is love and grace. Figure it out. Okay, okay. But I was very frustrated looking at the way of things, and I use my voice to point out what's wrong, and that's fine. That is a force in itself, but it's not a trespass. It's more of a, like like a siren. About to be a tsunami. The tsunami sirens. Anyway, but I was shown that what we needed to do was actually knit the net that everyone would fall into. That's actually what we were to do. We weren't going to go head to head with all of it. And there was some of that. The things came to me, and I did have to process and send things back to golden light. But what I was told essentially was we had to weave the web that everyone would fall into, that when the false world would collapse, and it would, there would be a holding waiting for everyone. And this is where I feel we are now, because um, we have been holding that holding in isolation at a personal cost, with weightiness, and sometimes that has caused ill health as well within us women. And now it's just, the fog is lifting, the shadow is rising, and we're just seeing that actually, hang on, we've actually done it. We have created this safety net, and
It,
everyone is just falling. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, just
Yeah, please.
wanting to blurb out because it came through one of the sound healings that I was kind of giving in
Mm,
practice. And, you know, one of the ladies that, you know, that was receiving the messages that came through to her through that was release all the fear. If you were to now let go of everything that you have ever done, or everything that you're planning to do, or everything that you're holding on to, so you keep yourself safe, or you know, afloat in this system. If you were to let go of all that, you will be held always. And it just
mm,
felt like that. It felt like, you know, if we were to fall, we are going to be held. And that just, you've just described that so beautifully.
mm.
So, yeah.
That's so beautiful. And the women in our choice to take the war out of our wombs, because through the different lifetimes, we have literally bred our children to be primed for war hormonally, because the purpose of mother is always to breed the child to survive. Survival is always number one. But so the choice of women to somehow, even with that as a real biological consideration, but also that's because we could feel the safety coming. We could feel the support with this. Um, a big part of what we had to do is reclaim that state of safety, like you said, to reclaim the state of wholeness and the state of safety. And in the doing of that, each one of us a piece of the unified womb, we have returned, we have restored the immaculate womb of creation. We have taken the war and the terror out of the womb, and therefore there is no need for it anymore. So
Yeah.
that is not the operating frequency of the womb anymore. The womb of creation, the operating frequency is just love, you know? We've done, which is just incredible.
I had to release a lot of that. Also, the fear for our kids, you know, our children. Um,
Mm.
I had this fear for my daughter, especially the little one, as you know. You've helped me
Yeah.
with that, if you remember. You know, these images that, you know, could be
Yeah.
in our subconscious mind and all that. Yeah, I had to release a lot of that and just let it go and know she is safe and she will do what she needs to do, you know, what she came here to do. So I always remember
Wow.
that.
Mm. Yeah, so we are unagreeing with fear. We've decided to disagree with fear,
Yeah.
and that's incredible. That's a big one for women.
Yes, yes, it's huge, I think, because that was really at some point, and not too long ago. Um, Everything is accelerating. It feels like ages ago, but it actually hasn't been that long. That was really draining me. Uh,
Mm,
you know, worried about
yeah,
everything that she's doing, or yeah. But I
yeah.
surrendered all that, and it just feels so good, so much lighter. Yeah, yeah,
And it's, the thing is the children, because we can be consumed with fear, and culturally, it is often seen, it has been sold that to be a fretful mother makes you a good mother. And, eventually we all run out of cortisol and we have to stop because we can't do it anymore. Like, this is not gonna. One of us is gonna blow up. It's probably gonna be me. And then no one's gonna make the dinner. That's never gonna work. So we're gonna have to drop the cortisol. Okay, come back. And then in that decision to disagree with fear and fretfulness and worry, we are choosing the truth that we decide. We decide how this plays out. And it is our children's pushing for constant freedom and limitlessness that pushes us to release fear. Now, it is so hard because we have to keep them alive. And I have two sons, and the youngest one, he's wonderful, but he is like he's like a grown man, and he does not understand. He does not recognize fear. He's always been like this, and I've been very careful being around him to try to help him be like that, like he used to go swimming when he couldn't swim, and I would be in the water.
You just remember.
He'd like jump into the water, and I would be in the water for hours. Like, I did pay a high price for his freedom. I would be in the water for hours, allowing him to believe he could swim.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But eventually he could swim, and now he's an excellent swimmer, right? But I'm just, yeah. Although I don't know what to say. I just wanted to say I'm exhausted, Ruin.
Aren't we all? Because it's such a difficult balance because they're bringing something that's very new and fresh and we're learning from them. So you don't want to
Yeah,
affect that. You want to honor it. But at the same
yeah,
time, we're also trying to release our fears and conditioning and all that. So you want to kind of keep them grounded, keep yourself grounded, and honor that energy that's here to create something that, we don't know how it's going to look like. So we have
yeah,
to allow it to unfold, but at the same time, yeah, it is exhausting. It can be very exhausting. Yeah. And I do
yeah.
sometimes, I really can't cope with this, and I'm just going to go now. You do what you want to do. I'm leaving. So, yeah.
We're all pray, going back to prayer to start praying. Just do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to get my nails done and pray. Take care.
exactly. My go-to now is just a bubble of light.
Mm.
That's beautiful,
I
Ginny.
think it has to be this way more and more. I'm still challenged with this. I was speaking to my daughter. I said, have you studied? Because she had a big test coming up. Have you studied? And she said, I've decided to leave the matrix, and there's no time outside of the matrix, so I have plenty of time to study. She said to me.
Wow.
And I just said, "That's beautiful. Do you want a cup of tea?" It's like, what? Where can you go? She's right.
Yeah.
And then my boy as well. He wants to go cycling, and he wants to go on this epic, 20-kilometer cycle straight out the door, no experience on the road. you know, let's go. And I'm trying to like give considerations of caution. Oh my gosh. And he's like, what kind of words are you speaking? That you would speak this to your son, that you would speak caution to me. This is what he says to me.
Wow. That's
Okay. Anyway,
amazing, right? It's beautiful.
that's
I can imagine you
that's where we are.
in the car behind him. Or
I might just do.
who knows?
I might just do that. I might just like, yeah, you can cycle. Off you go. Just try. I have to weigh up what is real. It's beautiful because they're pushing me to challenge like everything. But I do have to keep them alive. That is my rule. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's beautiful, Ruma. It's just gorgeous. You know,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Okay, we have covered so much. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else? Yeah, I just want to touch on because you spoke about the Rose of Damascus, and people are talking about the architecture of Tartaria, I think, is essentially, I think what they're talking about is architecture which is used to emanate vibration and to ground a vibration. And I wanted to talk about the similarity with the the churches, the mosques. Now, prayers were often done in caves and quiet corners, right? So it's not so much about the how the structure looks at this moment. But what I want to talk about is maybe the beginning intention of the places of worship. Oh, because what I see it as, because I have often gone to church, and I've received solace there, and I've enjoyed the silence and felt held. And what I seek on one side of things, which I really am not buying into, is this idea that in order to evolve, we have to annihilate differences, homogenization. I don't like it at all. I think it takes the sacred out of everyday life because in my knowing, it is in our rituals, our mini little habits, and our dedications to whatever bigger, more loving energy that we align with, that gives our life meaning, and that kind of weaves that depth within our children as well, and just the cultural belonging and the love of celebrations and festivals and everything that has been interwoven with religion. And I can't help but feel that religion is, in the beginning, was a grassroots uprising of dignity, of let us come together and let us worship that all that we are, and give thanks for our food. Literally just the table is like the altar, right? Giving thanks for your dinner was always a thing. And I can't help but just feel that the churches, the mosques, the buildings are just vessels, and every vessel belongs to the mother, of course. So I'm just thinking, if we just change the heart of all vessels, then we have containment of the mother, the heart and the containment of the mother in all spaces. And I do believe that was the primary intent for very many places of worship. I can't speak to all because I don't know the ins and outs of the sordid of humanity. I do know deeply the goodness of humanity, so I can speak to that. And I want to just give speak to this gentleman I knew once. He's still my friend. I just don't get to see him because he doesn't live in Ireland. But he, I had this dream about him, and he was Muslim. He was a Muslim man, very kind man. And I had a dream about him that he had a big rose in his heart. And I was told to walk through the rose. I was like, okay. So I walked through the rose in the dream, and it brought me into the Taj Mahal. And I was shown how the Taj Mahal was this architecture of love built in, and that's what it was, the intention, built in the honor of love. And I was shown that the beginning of that was the rose. So I just wanted to speak that because that was a powerful learning point for me, to see that open rose heart and to see what that could create in the world. That if the heart of man looked like that open rose, what the architecture of the world would look like.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. What would you like to reflect on that?
Yeah, it's that we don't really, I agree,
Mm.
we don't have to, uh, change, what's the word? We don't have to, cancel religions, or
Yes.
it's a coming back to the starting point, to the core of it all.
Mhm.
And there's so much value, like you said, in the culture, in the coming together, in these rituals and celebrations and the cooking. Like I said, this is one of the favorite things
Mm.
because I lived in when I was a child in Syria. It was such a beautiful um, multi-colored society where all religions live together so harmoniously, and everyone celebrated together. Everyone is invited to all festivals of all religions and all families. And it was just beautiful, and I think maybe our simple role in that, let's do that, is revive these beautiful little things that we had, in our culture. So I was mentioning the other day to my husband, it just crossed my mind that I loved, for instance, in Damascus, it's mostly apartments, so you have lots of neighbors, and it was very common that, if you run out of sugar or run out of coffee or whatever, then you just send, your child with an empty cup and knock on the neighbor's door, and they refill the cup, from whatever they have available. So, people share sugar, flour, and tea and coffee. If you run out, then, and you have someone coming and you want to offer them and you don't have it, then you can get it from your neighbors. And it's just remembering these little things that are so beautiful and so pure, I think, in this giving and sharing. Um, so the culture has a lot of values, and I think it's a journey. It was a journey for me because obviously Syria changed a lot, and you know, a part of me, wants to say I have nothing to do with that place, but really now it's an invitation to really go back and remember the core of it, the pure part of it, and that touches on what you're saying. Religions also, all these rituals, all of the sharing, the celebration, the prayers, the voice again comes into this, in choir or in prayers like in adhan in mosques, or I don't know much about everybody else, but it's everyone just go back to that, to the simple things. Simplify, it's
Yeah.
that we made it so complicated, I think, and now it's just releasing all that and just going back to that pure channel of, yeah, of mother, I guess. Yes.
Yes. The grounding of, beginning with that humility of gratitude and allowance and provision and sharing it and knowing that that is the way, the unfolding, the opening. But I love what you say, just to revive the goodness of all things and the core intention that was always there. Everything has been weaponized because the world was hostile. The world we have been agitated, if you imagine, like fleas in a jar. There was so much frequency attack and agitation done upon the sacred body of one humanity. So that is what has caused all division and all aggression between peoples. It's the exterior agitation that has weaponized our beautiful crystal, our hearts, to fracture and to war, and essentially brought also duality into the blood, changed the frequency of the blood. But we are in a place now of one body, one breath, one blood of humanity, and all the different ways of religion, and like the same way everyone has different languages. It's just the way we are in our natural habitat and the meaning we have gathered and the way we have interpreted from our own particular set of eyes that come all the way, grandmothers, grandfathers coming through us, and our daughters, our sons coming through us, and we're witnessing um, lived reality and giving honor to that. And that is sanctity restoring. There is no sanctity in shaking off our protection, the crystalline protection of prayer, of shaking off all that our grandmothers have given us, all that our grandfathers have given us. The pathways, the stones, I've seen this, the stone pathways were laid by our grandfathers. The way is, the architecture is already formed by the grandfathers. The song is already inherent, sung by the grandmothers in our bones. So this return to wholeness and like accepting all that we are. Like you said, there's shame in all countries. There's regret in all countries and all religions. There's regret and shame if you wanted to, but shame and regret do not belong in the living breath. So we're just letting that go, and just choosing to take the position as the heart of all things. So everything in this moment, everything that comes to us is coming to be offered intention. I would say is to be witnessed and to be just to feel our vibrational intention. No, we don't have to tell everyone what to do. It's just that, it's coming in maybe in a state of chaos, or a state of ripeness, or a state of wanting to receive this vibrational intention of love, and coming to wholeness and loving the whole. And as we are coming to loving the whole of ourself, that by nature's extension, which is all we have anymore, multiplication is all we truly have. That that is all. If we get it in the one, it comes in the all. Like, that's why you were speaking to your roses. You know how this works.
And like you said, a lot is coming. Like it feels like every day there are so many choice points. They're very simple, very subtle, but then you just feel it coming. And then at that moment, it's a choice whether to go back, like choose an old pattern, or just it's just a breath away. Just a breath away. I take a deep breath and I just sit with it for a moment, and then it just that shift, you feel it and you think, yes, I made a new choice. Not doing that anymore, and it just feels so transformative. Sometimes it's very simple, it's really simple. It's how to respond to someone being in a certain state where it could throw you this way or that, and it's just taking a breath, and then you just know what to say or not to say, and how to
Yeah.
step forward. It's really amazing. That's why I feel it's so we're so held at the moment. It's just there's so much clarity. My mind was
Mm,
always so foggy. So for me, this is like, oh my God, I can see this. I can see this. I see that I'm choosing something different. Um,
yeah.
and it's so beautiful. And to
Mm,
add to what you're saying about grandmothers and all that,
mm.
I'm just thinking, okay, let's start maybe with like a recipe, a grandmother's recipe. Do
Yes.
that, each one something that your mom used to make, or your grandmother used to make and used to love it. Revive that. There's so much love in that. There's so much warmth in it, and so
Mm,
many beautiful memories of community and love and fun and joy and celebration. So I like that. I
yeah.
was asking my mom about a recipe yesterday because I made something and it just didn't turn out right. So I was like, I did this, and she was like, no, you have to do it this way and that. And
Yeah.
that's precious. I like, collecting. I have like a few of them written down. I had them written down. I gone off this for a while, but now I'm thinking, yeah, let's bring that in. Even if it's just a little
Yeah.
recipe or something. Um,
I so agree. I'm going to do that too. I see the depth of what you're saying. The weaving in of like the way that's already formed, just weaving it back in, and that is the thread that brings us to wholeness.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Wow, Rua. This has been so beautiful. I really feel like we have covered everything. Like, so this has been so rich, so rich. Okay. Is there anything I'm just I wanting us to tune in. Is there anything that needs to be said? There's still a little. If we accept that all we are is love, and we accept that all we have is love, then we will be resourceful. The only source is love. So to be resourceful is to find the solutions from the truth of love. All solutions will present themselves when we give up, when we rescind all contract with fear, all contract with control, shame, despair, regret, power over, victimhood, as we choose the truth of love's unfolding, endless unfolding, the truth of abundance, the truth of goodness, the truth of grace. All the solutions will emerge as we speak our questions, our prayers, in every moment. Speak our prayers into the well of love and know that the answer will come that way, because it's truly all that we have anymore. We have exhausted all other ways. We have learned our last lessons. We are finished with the dead ends. And in this knowing, in this standing, we are beginning the world without end. This doorway of love is the portal of the world without end. So just dive in. Like my son.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, okay, Roua. I just want to offer you this space to give your last words for this moment, because we will have more beautiful conversations.
I have an offering. I thought will from this beautiful space that we are all in, held in love, in grace. Just want to sound from that. And my shout out to my sound healing teacher again. She introduced me to the earth chime, so it just wanted to come through also. So it's got a beautiful sound. I'm gonna click this so it's heard a little bit more. I'm just gonna sound whatever comes through.
And with that, Rua has invited us all home. Blessings, everybody. So much love.